Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you, Hugh. Thank you. I didn't realize you were at work either, so I really do appreciate that. Um, so something to you for your troubles. What's up, man? Good to see you. But yeah, I had to reset real quick because I wasn't in front of my screen uh for too much time. So AI flagged me, so I had to reset anyway. So now that we're here, hopefully I won't be up there for the next couple of hours until I'm ready to end it. Make sure we're sharing the live out for the people that are in here. Shared it to a few people myself. So let's get it started. I'm not gonna keep beating the dead horse. Oh yeah. Damn, AMG wheels, bro. Woo. You spend hefty on that car, don't you? But yeah, so yeah, this is opposition only. We're just gonna do some 1v1s, share the live out with a few people. Um, let's get it started officially this time. Hopefully without the outside noise. So share that with a few people one more time, and then we'll go from there. If you disagree with the prompt, make sure you're requesting up. Um, what's good, Gels? Long time no see. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like you said, add me up. But you have to request up first. Let's see. So,
What's up?
how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You disagree with this prompt?
Yeah,
All right,
I
hit
do.
me.
Shit, first, you from DFW or
Hmm?
are you from the DFW?
No, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I currently
Damn,
reside in
opposite
Texas.
side.
I
Oh,
currently
okay,
reside in
okay,
Texas, though, so I'm about 4 hours away from Frisco. I think
okay.
that's how far
Yeah,
San Antonio is. But anyway,
yeah. I was gonna say, man, I don't think it was just only because he didn't initiate. You know what I'm saying? He was provoked, and not only that, we have to look at his background, clean record. Have to take his age into in consideration. He's young and
mm,
not, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, I don't agree with what he did. You didn't have to, take his life. But at the same time, man, he was 17 at the time. That brain is nowhere near mature. Feel me? So, and what he did was he ran, went to somebody. It was like, hey, man, like, I feel like he did everything right after the fact. And he even admitted to doing it. So, like, his sentence I would have gave him like, been like 2 years.
okay.
And the reason
So
I'm saying
just
that,
to,
hold on. The reason I'm saying that is because in the same city, do you know about Little Elm, Texas, bro? You know where Little
Sundown
Elm
Town,
is?
Sundown Town.
Nah, nah. That's Deep
It's
Ellum.
not
Little Elm is inside. It's a town inside of Frisco. They're like connected. And
okay.
I want I live in McKinney, work in Frisco, and
Okay.
in Little Elm, which is inside of Frisco. When I first moved out there, bro, I remember seeing on the news that this white boy drug deal gone bad, shot two people, off one, then led the police on a speed chase, then a foot pursuit. They only gave him 2 years, and he was a year older than Carmelo. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's
What was his
deeper
name?
than what you say.
What was his name?
Uh, his last name was. I can get it for you. Hold on.
Yeah, while you're gathering that, let's just make one thing abundantly clear. Appreciate that,
His name is
Javier.
Alec Adamson. So Alec Alec. Last name Adam Son Adamson. So I'm like, okay, you had court in Collin County too. Why did they give you 4 years,
So you said his
two
his
years
name
in
was
parole? Yeah,
you said his
Alec
name was
Adamson.
spell Alec
A L E
ALEC. Okay,
LLEC.
Adamson.
Yeah, and they're talking about why did he bring a knife? Technically, they didn't say it was a knife. It was like some type of tool, and it was legal in Texas. So stop using that as an excuse. Me personally, I feel like it was based off of race, bro. Not gonna lie to
Hmm.
you, because two young adolescent individuals both are facing a murder charge. One was provoked. The other one was selling drugs, and the deal done gone bad. He shot him. He
Let me
only
stop
got
you.
4 years.
Let me stop you.
Other buddy
From
got
what? Hold on.
35.
From the Alec Adamson case that you brought up, from what I'm reading, he wasn't convicted with the first degree murder charge. He was only convicted of aggravated assault.
No, he was convicted with murder.
No, he was not. I'm reading it right now. It's telling me that the jury did not convict him of murder. Instead, they found him guilty of a lesser included offense of aggravated assault.
Oh, okay.
And if
So
you
the
want,
dude
if you
died,
want,
but he
you
didn't
you would
kill
have
him though.
you'd have an argument if he was convicted. I don't know the details. I have to do further research,
Yeah,
but
I was
from
gonna
what I'm
say, look
looking
it
like,
up.
he
It
was
was literally
unconvicted.
a drug deal going bad, bro.
But we
And
can we
also
can
look
get
up
to
the. You can find the jury on that too,
we
bro.
can get to
Like,
that later. So I just want to state my case, right? First and foremost, do you know the full details of this case with Carmelo Anthony?
yeah,
Full details.
yeah.
Okay, so you understand that it was disproven that he was getting jumped or was about to.
And that was disproven by the witnesses, correct?
Yes, all of
But
them,
weren't
all of them, all of them disprove that.
stories contradicting?
No,
Weren't they lying?
no, they're under oath.
I mean, you
If
can't
they were
really.
lying, if they were lying under oath and it was shown that they were lying under oath, they'd be committing perjury. They can be arrested for that.
I mean,
It's a
didn't one
crime.
of them under the tent say he didn't know him? But
Hmm?
they was out posted like the week
There was
before the
there
offering.
there's a story going around that there was a friend of Carmelo's that invited him in the tents, but that particular person did not take the stand, from what I understand. So we don't know if that's true or not. And I'm not going off of speculation. I'm only going off of what I know.
So you
So
think this? You think it was just?
absolutely.
Do you believe in
So
God?
absolutely.
What you got?
My God, Jesus Christ.
So you don't believe in grace?
I do believe in grace, but I also believe in justice. I also believe in consequences and accountability.
Yeah, but I feel like you have to take his age into consideration and how the whole situation even was brought about. It'll be different if he
There are
walked up
kids
there
that have
with the.
done there are kids that have done exponentially worse than what he did, that have gotten worse outcomes. I have more grace for a child who have done absolutely nothing and still resulted in losing their life versus somebody that made a blatant decision, a split decision out of impulse control and ego, that decided to take somebody else's life.
So how
I have
was it?
more I have more
Go
sympathy
ahead.
for the Metcalf family than I do the Anthony family, simply because of how their behavior was. Now, if that's something that is going to get me in trouble with God, then that's between me and him. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm standing on what I said. So the reality is that when it comes to this case, Carmelo Anthony was told by 15 different people on 15 different occasions, please leave. Common sense would tell you that if you are not welcome in a location, I've said it previously in other lives. I don't give a fuck if it was a tornado outside. Get the fuck on. Get the fuck on somewhere. If you're not welcome somewhere, why are you insisting that you stay there? What entitlement do you have to that? right?
So
We
15
understand. We
people
understand.
told him
Hold,
to
hold on.
leave.
Hold on. We understand. It was either 15. It was either 15 people or he was told 15 times.
So
One of
yeah,
the
I was gonna
two.
say it wasn't
So
15
hold on.
people, bro. It was really two, and one's not here.
Hold on. Hold on. Please have some respect and decorum. I'm allowed to speak on my platform.
I'm just correcting you. That's all. That's
I
ego
can
right
correct.
there, bro.
I can correct myself, like
Go
I
ahead,
just
though.
did.
Go ahead.
I don't need your permission.
You
So
corrected
please,
yourself once I intervened.
so please stay on mute until I'm done speaking. So getting back to what I was saying, right? That was not a request. I'm telling you, stay on mute until I'm done. So so when we're looking at this case, right? Okay, you can't follow simple instructions. So let's just break this down to everybody that actually has impulse control and can actually pay attention to what we're talking about. When it comes to this Carmelo Anthony case, this is the whole run. This is the whole rundown of what happened based on witness testimony, right? If we're so based on what happened, Carmelo Anthony allegedly was. Some people are saying that he was invited into the tent. Other people are saying that that he put himself to the intent, that he went to the tent himself. Either way, he's in the tent, right? He's told on 15 different occasions, I'm assuming, that he needs to leave. He shouldn't be there, right? It's not his school's tent. So later down the line, Austin then approaches him, tells him, "Hey, bro, you got to leave," right? And Carmelo, based on what witnesses telling him, was automatically antagonistic. I ain't got to do shit. Y'all some bitches, blase, blase, blase. Y'all some pussies. Y'all ain't gonna do shit. Give me a, make me leave, blase, 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 right? So also then comes in the touch me and see what happens, right? Or as long as you don't touch me, we good, or something along those lines, right? Austin, according to witnesses, didn't actually push him, gave him a light shove, in which prompted, oh, mind you, Carmelo was reaching in his bag while all of this was happening, right? Austin gives him a slight shove, which then prompted Carmelo to stab Austin in the chest, puncturing his bone marrow, getting straight to the sac that punctured his heart. Pretty much died on the spot, right? Sees that what he did, leaves, right? Coach, the one of the coaches, which is was the defense's witness, went to Carmelo went to him and told him what happened, and then the police approached him. He was about to he was arraigning him, about to place him under arrest, and I guess he said over the radio, alleged suspect, blase blase, and Carmelo said, "I'm not alleged, I did it. I was defending myself." Word for word, bar for bar. You can read the police report, right? So the thing that you need to be able to demonstrate in the state of Texas is that, for number one, for something to be self-defense, one of the main things that you need to prove is that this was reciprocal force, proportional force, right? If you look at the response that Carmelo gave to Austin giving him a light shove, again, according to witnesses, right? This is not remotely close to proportional. So right out the gate, murder one was the correct charge. Let's just get that part out the way. And with murder one in Texas, you don't have to prove intent. You just have to improve knowledge that in that moment, you know what the repercussions are if you do this thing. You know what type of harm you would be inflicting. The prosecution was able to demonstrate that he knew what he was doing in that moment and still continued to did it, hence the murder charge, right? So that's why he was that's why he was convicted of murder, and why he was sentenced to 35 years. It's a long threshold between 5 and 99 years when you're charged, when you're convicted of murder, when you're convicted of murder in Texas, especially that specific county, right? So, all in all, Carmelo Carmelo was 100% guilty. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But this is the reality, and this is the part that I really want to touch on. Every single person that has been in the defense of Carmelo has started doing this race baiting, race grifting perspective ideology that has that has pushed more racial division in this country. The irresponsibility of Carmelo supporters that tried to make it seem as though that this was a racial issue when this was just a matter of right and wrong, and this was a matter of two teenagers that had ego. Everybody is saying that two kids lost their life. No, he didn't. Only one kid lost their life, and that was Austin. Carmelo threw his life away because of the poor decision making, plain and simple. I'm just going to be objective with this through and through. I do not have sympathy for Carmelo Anthony. I'm perfectly fine with the outcome. I'm perfectly fine with the sentencing. I'm perfectly fine with the conviction. Flat out. And if you disagree, request that, and let's have a civil discourse. Oh, and by the way, let's just set a few ground rules because I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be up here that are going to want to, call me names or whatnot. All of my mods are here, and they're going to catch it before I do. If I see one raccoon emoji in my chat, you're going to get muted. If I see one Uncle Tom comment in my chat, you're going to get muted. If you come on my panel and start using ad hominems, you're going to get blocked from the live. I'm not going to negotiate that. Let PowerPunk be an example. There you go. So yeah, no thumb thugging. If you actually disagree and want to have an intellectual conversation, request that.
Request. Hey, what's the
Being,
word, buddy? What's the
how you
word,
doing?
buddy? Hey, no, look. I don't know what buddy ass is talking about on the last one. That's why I said get his ass off. But no, look, real life. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Let's be honest. Both families lost out, right? But look, in the state of Texas, it is stand your ground, right? Would you agree? Because it is
Yes.
here like that in Missouri too. You don't have to retreat if the threat is imminent. Again, I was listening to you. You said something about being under oath and lying. That that's against the law, right? Didn't they catch little dude up who said he wasn't his friend? The one who he had dapped up in the tent before they even got into it, and
I
they
don't recall that. I don't recall that kid testifying.
he
Chat, did
did.
that kid actually testify?
Yeah, he did. He said they wasn't friends. He was an associate, and they had to pull up pictures of him. He visited him 3 times a week. It was the
Hmm.
kid who I forgot his name, but it's the kid who he originally dapped up in the tent in the first place. The one who asked to change seats with the one with the first kid who he was like, "Hey, this is crazy weather." Do you know what I'm talking about now? He had changed seats. I'm just saying, dude ass was lying off the rip.
Chat,
So
what was his chat? If you
he
what
was the
was the
last.
kid's name? Does anybody remember? Actually, I'm gonna have this one-on-one interaction with you. I think Grace.
Yeah.
I think
No,
brother
I'm,
might
I'm
has
just
this
saying.
information.
I'm just saying for real. At the end of the day, it wasn't no. He didn't break no law carrying the pocket knife because like I'm trying to say, this pocket.
Hold on, real quick. Savage, is that true? What he was saying? Because you
Yes,
read the
yes,
transcripts more than me.
yes. His name is Eddie Para, and
Yeah, Eddie Parra.
Spell it.
Eddie Para claimed on the stand Eddieparra. I believe
P
it's
A
two
R
R's.
R Parra. Okay.
But I kind of disagree with you a little bit because Eddie Parr said that they knew each other, but he wouldn't call him his friend. Then, when the defense came up, he showed pictures where him and his friend, who happened to be Carmelo Anthony's ex girlfriend at the time, or well, it was his girlfriend at the time, they were at the 50th birthday party of one of their grandmothers. And Carmelo was there, this kid was there, the ex girlfriend was there. So they had pictures of them playing basketball whilst, roasting marshmallows. But we don't know what the picture, we don't know if they were buddy buddy or if it was just a group of a bunch of kids playing together. But Eddie
Okay.
Parr still stood
Hold on
by
one
the
second.
fact he was not his friend. He was not his friend.
Let me read this out real quick. According to his testimony, Parra testified that Anthony was inside the Memorial High School tent before a confrontation began. He said he recognized Anthony and greeted him, stating that Carmelo was there. I dabbed him up. When asked whether it was unusual for Anthony to be in the tent, Parr testified yes, because teams are supposed to be at their own tent. Parr reportedly testified that Anthony appeared to be provoking Metcalf, that he saw Anthony put his hand into his bag before the stabbing occurred. While describing the aftermath, Parr became emotional on the stand, testifying that he saw blood and a hole in Austin Metcalf's chest and heard Metcalf screaming for help. One particular notable exchange came when prosecutors asked when the case was about race or self-defense. According to CBS Texas courtroom report, Parr answered that it was not. And when asked who was in the wrong that day, he replied, Carmelo. Where'd he go? He just dropped?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. And when the defense did their, what is it? God, my mind just went blank. When the defense asked him question, he did present pictures And still, Eddie stood by that they knew each other, but they were not friends. I just want to clarify that for you.
All right. That's my mind, y'all. What's up? What's up, bro? Christian, you're up here.
Give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna stay up here.
Okay. Thank you, Savage. I'm gonna drop you real quick. Request back up if you wanna if you got any information. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so that's fine. That's fine.
Shout out to Savage. Good friend of the page. Now, um, I'm gonna just bring the next person up. And guys, I'm going in chronological order based on what I see. So if you want to come up, keep your request in there, but make sure you actually disagree with the prompt. If you don't disagree, please relinquish your request. That way we can only have ops only and just not waste time. So
Yeah, really quick. I think it's crazy how people are getting nasty and hateful and going after a race rather than just a verdict of this case, and then looking at why the jurors might have thought that way. For example, I see white people going around here putting white people and black people, let's be honest, putting up pictures of Carmelo AI generated next to big black and white guys in prison getting kissed up on, makeup, all this bullshit. That shit's weird as fuck. And then people doing the same shit to Austin, saying he's in hell. Mind you, his family was walking out of the courthouse yesterday, and some lady said to the family, "I'm glad Austin is dead." To the
verbatim,
family.
verbatim.
Turn
My,
left onto
Oh yeah,
Burke Road,
these
State Road
motherfuckers taking this shit way,
S922. Then
way,
you'll turn
way too,
left onto the
way too
I-20.
seriously, and they're making it all about race. Whenever it had nothing to do with race, everybody on this fucking app made it about race and ran with it.
yeah.
Whenever both sides, the prosecution and the defense, made it clear this was nothing about race, and it was a one-on-one between Austin and Carmelo.
Yep.
Motherfuckers need to get a grip. All right, I'm gonna drop.
All right, so let's just make this
Hey, what's
abundantly
going on,
clear. First
fellas?
and foremost, how you doing, Eric?
All right, good, good, good.
There's 248 people and counting in this live. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I know this is a hot button topic. That's most likely the reason why everybody's in here. Most of you have never seen me before. First and foremost, my name is KJ. I used to go live frequently. I'm taking a little bit of a hiatus. The only reason why I'm live today is because I really wanted to discuss this matter. So I'm an objective person, libertarian leaning, just a Gen Zer with an opinion, and I debate people intellectually and in good faith. So if you like that type of vibe, I don't have any political leanings. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat, conservative, or liberal, right? I just keep it a buck. So if anybody likes that type of vibe, you just like keeping it straight to the facts and having a conversation, be sure to shoot me a follow, send those daily heart meets, share the live out with some people that you know. And if you want to contribute to my gift gallery, that's perfectly fine as well. It's not expected, but greatly appreciated. Eric, do you disagree with this prompt?
No, I don't disagree, but just want to give you a little background on myself. I've done 13 years in law enforcement, and just so
I'm
happens,
gonna give you 3 minutes and then we're gonna move on. Go ahead.
yeah, 10-4. All right, so I live in I worked in Orangeburg County, South Carolina, but now I live in Columbia. And what I'm seeing on this whole thing is just a lot of noise, unnecessary noise, making it racial, making it this and that. And I live in Columbia, where everything just happened with the whole Chow case and all that. And there was so much protest and trying to, create division and everything here in Columbia. And then I drive back over there yesterday. There's not a soul to be seen around the gas station, not a soul to be seen around the memorial for this young man. And then I feel like it's going to be the exact same thing with Carmelo. All the noise and everything, and then it's just going to drop. You're not going to hear anything else. You create division, and then it's over with.
Yeah. And I'm really I'm really here to call out the race grifters and the race baiters that have been
Right, right.
running rampant in this throughout this entire situation for the past year and a half and making it seem like something that it's not. Personally, as a black man, I know we don't really care about race on this platform, but still, speaking as a black man, it is frustrating seeing how much people lack accountability when it comes to this issue. And that's just how
Oh,
I genuinely
absolutely.
feel.
And
I could
and
give a
I
fuck
can
if I'm in a
tell.
room full of I can give a fuck if I'm in a room full of black people or a room full of white people. The reality is that wrong is wrong. Carmelo was in the
Right,
wrong, not only by the eyes of the law, but by the eyes of objective morality. And can't anybody disprove me in that fact? And if you feel like that you
right.
can, please request up.
Yeah, and I mean, I can tell, obviously, talking to you, you're a very intelligent man. And I like the perspective that you're taking on this right here. There's a lot of people that just shut out everything and just automatically make it on race. This has nothing to do with race.
Nothing.
Like I said, law enforcement, as long as I was in it, I would have made the exact same type of charge against him. He had the ability to walk off. It wasn't one of these things where, you just went up there and this guy decided he was going to try to, Austin or whatever was going to try to kill him. That was never presented, and just like in law enforcement, you can't step up deadly force as a law enforcement officer if it doesn't apply to the situation. If every cop went out here and shot everybody that wanted to fight the cop, we wouldn't have cops out here. It'd be nothing but lawsuits day after day. You have to meet force with force, but not above the force. You can't escalate that.
I agree. Do you have anything further you want to say before we
No,
move
I'm
on?
good, man. I appreciate you bringing me on, though.
I appreciate you. I'll shoot you a follow. Thank you so much, man.
Sure.
Shout out to Eric, y'all. All right, let's move on to the next guest. Prime time, mic check 1 2.
I'm here.
Nice to see you. I take it you disagree with this prompt?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Feel free to explain why.
Because it's like, hold on. It's like, so what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, he was getting bullied. The boy was getting bullied, right?
No, that's not true.
So that one.
No, no.
So what happened then?
He was invited to the tent
Cause some had it.
hold on, I'm about to explain it to you. So just to reiterate what happened, he was invited into the tent by an Eddie Para, who was also somebody that was involved in the track meet. He was on a Austin school side, right? He invited Carmelo in. People were telling him that Carmelo was told 15 times that he shouldn't be under that tent and was asked to leave, and he did not leave. The narrative that was shown, and I'll show images in a moment just to bring full perspective on how twisted these lies actually are, right? The narrative was shown that Carmelo had history with Austin and Hunter. They did not know each other prior to this incident. This was the first time that they've ever interacted. So there's no possibility that there would be a bullying situation. He was asked to leave on a multitude of occasions by Austin included. So by him not liking the fact that he was asked to leave, he decided to be belligerent and antagonize Austin mainly to try and force him to leave. Now, keep in mind, Austin quite literally
So
said, according,
so
hold on. Austin quite literally said, according to witness testimony, that, dude, I'm not going to fight you at a track meet. That's what they said that's what the witness said on under oath, right? So if that, so understanding that that is more than likely true, right? There is zero possibility that Carmelo was bullied in this instance.
so why you? I'm asking you. You think that's true? So you think that's true? What happened in that situation?
I
People
have
lie
no
every
reason to
day now.
believe otherwise. I have no reason to believe otherwise. What
People
evidence do
go.
you have?
People.
Because the
It's
burden.
a
Hold
bunch of
on,
people.
prime
Hold
time,
on.
prime time. I understand that people lie, but what evidence? Because the burden of proof is on you. What evidence do you have to demonstrate that what the witnesses were saying under oath was actually false? Do you have any
I mean,
evidence?
shit. Look at the little boy.
Look
You
at who?
know, that's the first thing. That's the first thing. Look at the little dude Anthony, and look at the YT boy. You know what I'm
Are you
saying?
talking about the size difference?
You see, you already.
So help me understand. How does size difference automatically indicate that Austin is the bully in this situation? Help me understand that. And please, if you can,
Clean
don't bring Hunter into this situation because it was already proven that he was not involved either.
in the tent.
Say again. Prime time. I think you're
So
breaking up.
so why did he bring a knife then? If some hold on.
Your guess is as good as mine. Nobody in here believes that he should have brought that knife with him, especially not to no goddamn track meet.
Yeah, like I'm gonna ask D right here. What he brought a knife for then? Some obvious had to been going on prior before that. So why did the little boy bring the knife then? Somebody had to been picking with somebody.
We don't have any information on the intent as far as him bringing the knife with him. All we know for a
But
fact
you
is that
but you
according to, hold on,
saying
hold
you
on, hold
saying
on, hold on. All we know for a fact is that according to not only the school policy that you are not to bring a switchblade on school grounds, right? That he had no business bringing it with him in the first place. So I have no interest in speculating as to why he brought the knife with him. All I know is that he had no business bringing it with him. And the reality is that he knew that he had the knife on him. He knew he had the knife on him, which is why he reached for it in his bag, and which is why he used it on Austin. Hmm. Next person. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is pathetic, Chad. This is pathetic. I'm just gonna be outright honest about it. This is absolutely pathetic. It takes nothing to be honest, mind you. That's damn near zero effort. It takes nothing to be honest about this type of shit. Call me a coon, Uncle Tom, whatever the fuck you want to call me. It's not going to take away from the truth. It's quite literally obvious. Hmm. Anyway, um, let's see. Mr. Bob,
Yes, sir.
how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. Do you agree or disagree with this prompt?
I agree with the outcome, and I agree with you. I think anybody with any common sense knows that it's not acceptable to stab somebody for
I
no
do.
reason,
I do
unprovoked.
appreciate you, sir. But
Yeah.
just I understand you want to come up and speak on the issue. There's like 18 people at least that are in my request box. So, damn, let me. Look, I got it. Because I want to be respectful. I'm not even going to disrespect them, guys. If you agree with the prompt, please relinquish your request to come up. That way, we can only interact with the opposition. So. I appreciate you, Mr. Bob. That wasn't me that dropped you. That was one of my moderators. They apologize for that. But yeah, I do appreciate you. If Bob, you're still here, everybody shoot him a follow as well. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you. Okay. Miss Darylyn, did I say
Hey,
that right?
yep, that's right. Thank you for having
All
me
right.
up.
No problem. No problem. Please explain why you disagree with the prompts. I'm assuming you do.
Was justice served? So justice was served according to some people, but I think the sentence was too long
Why?
because I think that Carmelo may have been bringing the knife or whatever it was, the blade or whatever, to school, maybe because he was running into issues with these boys. I don't know for sure,
That is
but
already disproven. They have had zero interactions prior to this incident.
You'd have to show me that. I don't know. So I know he went to the tent, and Austin and his brother attempted to, tell him he didn't belong here, and they got into a scuffle, and he defended himself. I think even the jury said it was self defense, but it didn't need that type of measure. And I just feel like I think it comes down to and unfortunately this young boy lost his life, Austin, and now this young boy Carmelo is going to lose his life. as well, because he's going to pretty much be put in prison. I think ultimately the decision, or the American people have to decide, do we want to put this boy in prison and make more criminals? Because essentially you put a teenager in prison with people who are actual murderers, because I think there's a difference between someone who was essentially defending themselves and someone who goes around stabbing and taking people's lives. I
Okay,
think,
so I'm gonna let you continue. I just want to make sure that this is on the record. Based on the investigation, trial testimony, and statements from both sides, there is no evidence that Carmelo Anthony had any prior relationship or interaction with Austin or Hunter Metcalf before the track meet incident. Several sources reported that investigators found no evidence that Anthony and Austin Metcalf knew each other before April 2nd, 2025. Witnesses told police that Anthony and Metcalf did not know each other prior to the confrontation under the Memorial High School tent. Anthony attended Centennial High School, while Austin and Hunter attended Memorial High School, but investigators have not publicly identified any previous encounters between them.
okay. So that means to me, what that says to me is then it could not have been premeditated if they didn't have any interaction. So meaning that,
Premeditation
that
is not something that you have to prove in a murder in
right,
murder
right. I'm not
in
saying that. I'm just
Texas.
saying. So Carmelo did not go to school with the knife with the intention to take Austin McClaff's life if they had no prior interaction with each other.
Right, but still, they don't. It doesn't have to be premeditated.
Right. I'm just saying that because I think when people consider the length of a sentence, premeditation should be considered. Because right now I can go out
We
to
can
a
have
gas
we can have a
station.
conversation. We can have a conversation of what it ought to be, but
Yeah,
objectively, according to the law, that's not what was considered.
I
Right.
understand,
So
but
there.
listen, the
So and
lawmakers.
even wait and even wait. You also have to take into consideration that there is no degrees of murder in the state of Texas. It's just murder, straight up, right? So how they classify it is based on the knowledge of whether or not you know if if you know the damage that would be done if you do this act. If you know that in that moment, that is what is considered murder. That's that's what's automatically presumed before we look at intent.
Yes,
There was no need to prove intent in this case.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying I know there's a reason why different states have different laws because again, depending on what people because again, the people who make the laws are people just like us. It's a how laws are chosen, what sentences are chosen are just people deciding, hey, is this good? Is this bad? Is this considered this? That's all it is. It's human beings choosing that. So as a human being, I'm saying I don't think Carmelo Anthony is going to be a threat to society had he been given. They could have given that. Now, again, he has to do some time because he took this young man's life. But I think ultimately American people should think, okay, are we trying to improve people or are we just trying to punish people? And if in the case, if you have someone who is someone who touches kids or someone who is an actual serial killer, then they don't need to be improved. They got to just be taken out of here. But with this young man, I think people should consider, hey, do we want to see him improve or he of course he's going to have to get repercussions for taking someone's life, but putting him in prison for 35 years, we're going to waste tax dollars paying for him to stay in prison. Then when he's however how old he is comes out, he's not going to be a productive member of society anymore. He's going to be someone, because he's a teenager, he's going to be in there with people who are actual bad people. So what's going to start happening to him? That prison system is not meant for people to improve. It's meant to keep them there. And so that's why the recidivism rate, whatever it's called, is
And the
so
point,
high.
please. So whether or not he's morally bankrupt is not my concern. What I'm more concerned about is whether or not justice is going to be served based on the act that he does. Of course, he does not have a prior record to this incident. I don't care. When you commit an act that heinous, whether you have a record or not, the law needs to be served properly, plain and simple. Now, you have a wide variety of people in my chat that are saying that he should have got capital punishment, aka the death penalty. I don't believe that for one bit. I think that 35 years is perfectly fine. He has to serve half of that sentence, and he might have a possibility of parole after half of that
Mhm.
sentence is served. And what he does after that, I could care less. But as long as he has his time served. But when we're talking about whether or not he's morally bankrupt, let's look at it from the outside looking in. He could have been, from what I understand about Carmelo Anthony, he was working two jobs, right? Honor student, team lead for his track team, et cetera, et cetera. Right? I can agree with you that he may be a good kid, but he still
Mhm.
made a terrible, terrible, reprehensible decision. So, because of that reprehensible decision, you have to understand that first and foremost, according to Texas law, the adult age legally is the age of 17. So, he technically committed that crime as an adult, according to the law, right? And what you also need to take into consideration is that just because he's 17 and that his brain isn't fully developed doesn't mean that he can't comprehend consequences. So, he
No,
knew, so we can make the argument that that he did it on impulse, right?
right.
Sure. But the reality is that somebody is still dead. So
Yes, that's
something
why I
needs to
said,
something needs to happen,
yeah, of
right?
course.
Now,
That's what I'm saying.
let me ask you this question, right? Because I need to make sure that I'm actually having a conversation with somebody that's intellectually honest. Would you be sharing the same sentiment if the roles were
Yes,
reversed?
100%. 100%. If the roles were reversed and he was a white boy and this is a black boy who was taken out, 100%.
Okay.
And because I'm trying to, all I am saying is that we've already lost one young man, and we're about to essentially lose another. Because again, putting young men in prison around people who are actually bad people is not going to make them better. He's going to get abused. He's going to be beaten, all types of stuff. Is that going to change him into a better person? No. We don't know
Now,
how.
Now, if you want to have a conversation about how we need to fix our rehabilitation system, our prison systems, et cetera, I'm all ears. But that's not the conversation that we're having right now. We're having a
Okay.
conversation on whether or not justice was served. Now, give me an actual well thought out argument as to why you believe that this is not justice.
Yeah, this is not justice because this young boy, Carmelo Anthony, was not going to school with the intention of taking this young man's life. This was an act of passion, in my opinion. This was an
If it was
adrenaline
an act of
filled
passion, why didn't the jury take that into consideration when they were sentencing him?
because because people who are on the jury are still human beings and they can have bias. It's not like we're putting people who are
But
not
you
human.
do understand that the probability of bias for a jury is relatively low, given the fact
No,
that
no,
they're
no,
selected
no,
by both the
because
defense
human
and
beings are
prosecution.
still, it doesn't, human beings are human beings. You can't say, oh, they can't be biased because what would
No,
you
no, no.
base that off
I
of?
didn't say that they can't be biased. I'm saying that the probability of them being biased in this instance is relatively low because that's how they're selected. They're selected based on their relatability to this case.
Okay.
That's quite literally why, even
Right.
though
But the people
as
who
much people,
select
hold on one
them,
second, as much as people refuse to acknowledge this fact, that's why you didn't have a single black juror on that jury because of the fact that you had one male that quite literally said verbatim, I can't see myself putting a young brother in jail. Verbatim. You had several black women that were selected for that jury that had close relations to that school. A few of them were educators in that district.
okay.
So they were it hit too close to home for them. The
Right. I'm
possibility of
not
this being
disagreeing with that.
and also you brought up crime of passion. The possibility of this being a crime of passion is also it can't be the
Can
case
can I just respond to the first thing you said first? Can I?
let me finish because I allowed you to make your point, right? So this is the possibility of crime of passion is damn near completely off the table, right? Because in order for it to be crime of passion, before it to even be considered as crime of passion, you need to be able to prove definitively that there is a history here. You want to know what would be considered a crime of passion? Uh, not too long ago, a case of another individual who found another gentleman who found out that his wife had had
Oh
four
yeah,
kids
crime of passion is the wrong word. I got you.
that
I
were
got
supposed
you.
to be
I
by
used
him.
that wrong. Crime of passion is not correct. This is an adrenaline field. This was a self defense act. Wrong word usage. You got me there. All I am
You
saying
believe
is
that
that
this is self-defense?
yes, but
Demonstrate
I'm
that.
okay. So can I go back to the first point about jurors can absolutely be biased because the people that pick them can be biased. It's not like they're not getting human beings to do the job. It's like human beings can be biased no matter what. It doesn't matter that, well, according to the jury, according to the people, they can't be biased. Anyone can be biased. There's a reason why they were all people. They were all non, people. And even in that, because and people inherently have biases. There's white Americans who look at Austin and they can see their sons, their nephews, their cousins. And there are also black people that look at Carmelo, can see their sons, their nephews, their uncles. So in that alone, that allows people to have certain bias anyway, because someone looks like someone in their family. So all of this, nobody can be biased. It's not true. Again, I think the sentence was too lengthy. And again, I think it
You
had
believe
they
that it was
given,
too lengthy?
yep,
It was 5 days. How was that
I
too
think,
lengthy?
no, I think the sentence 35 years was too long.
Oh,
Yes.
continue.
Yes, I think if you gave Carmelo Anthony 5 years max, he would have came in sorry for who he apologized. He's probably sad now, but he would have came out a better man. You give him 35 years, you have created a criminal. So you haven't done anything
Well,
for the
reasonably
system,
speaking, he created a criminal out of himself when he decided to do something that's
sir.
stupid.
Okay,
Now
so let's just
hold
say,
on,
let me just say
hold on.
this.
Let me make this point. Let me make this point really quick. You brought up self-defense. Do you know the three things that you need to prove in order for it to be constituted as self-defense?
What?
Number one, you must be justified in using force in the first place. Number two, you must reasonably believe deadly force is immediately necessary. And number three, the defendant cannot have provoked the confrontation. Key thing is that last part. Fif- at over 20 over 20 witnesses confirmed that Carmelo provoked it. Therefore,
Hmm.
it is impossible for this to be self-defense.
It's impossible and again, that can be those people who spoke on that, saying that Carmelo provoked it. Those were people who were in the tent who were probably familiar with Austin. Again, so again, their own opinion is biased. But I'm not saying that Carmelo should not do.
Regardless of the
Can wait? I let
speculation
you
that you
finish.
may
Can I
have,
finish? Can I finish? Carmelo, all I'm saying is that Carmelo has to do time regardless. That is all I'm saying that 35 years is way too long. It's way too
how
long.
is
This boy is
35
not,
how is 35 years too long when that barely makes a third threshold of the entire threshold. The minimum year is 5, the maximum year is 99. He got a third of that.
it's
He
going by
he's,
my own,
he might get less of a third
and he
if
should. I
he
hope he
makes it
does.
17 and a half years. If he makes it half of that sentence, he might get parole. That's possible.
And I hope he does.
So realistically speaking, for most people, 35 ain't a bitch ass thing.
It's not,
Well,
and no,
especially when it comes to
it's his
taking
whole
somebody
life
else's
if he
life.
serves it. But he should serve less than that. Honestly, he's not. And the only time I think people should serve that sentence is if they are a threat to society. That's the only reason I think they should.
This is the problem. You may not believe that he was a threat to society, but this is the point that I was trying to make prior. Look at it from the outside in. If the public sees that an individual out of a simple shove decides to stab somebody lethally, killing them on the spot, that indicates to everybody looking from the outside in that this individual doesn't have impulse control. He needs to be off the streets and he needs to be imprisoned. So, by that logic, if we're looking directly at common sense, you could never have a history of doing these things whatsoever. But the reality is that if you are allowing a situation like this to push you to that extent where you feel it necessary to
Mhm.
kill somebody out of impulse, then you're goddamn right. You deserve to be locked up.
So my question is, and again, you make great points, but my question is, so we have police officers who take life under the idea that they're serving and protecting. We have people who take life on capital punishment, take people's lives because they are criminals. What makes taking a life okay that you need to serve time? Because the government takes lives,
Wait,
police
repeat
takes
that?
lives.
Come again?
What makes you need to serve? What is considered when you guys say someone needs to be in prison for taking a life? Because if you take a life, it's the worst thing you can do. But our government police take life all the time. So what makes it okay to take a life, but what makes it not
What happened
okay?
to Derek Chauvin?
Can you just answer my question first?
No,
I
no,
don't know
no, no,
who
no.
Derek.
What happened to Derek Chauvin?
Who's Derek Sheldon? Is that the police officer?
The police officer that killed George Floyd? What
Hmm.
happened to him?
I don't know.
He's in
Isn't he
prison.
in
Do you know
prison?
for how long?
Right.
Do you know
No.
for how long?
Yeah.
At least 20 years.
Okay. So, oh wow, he's doing less than that's crazy than
20
Carmelo.
so
He's doing
justice
less
was
than
served in
Carmelo.
that
That's
case, right?
crazy. But I do. Can you answer my question though? What makes it okay to take a life and what doesn't?
You just answered your own question. That case in and of itself proved that it is not okay for a police officer to unjustly take somebody else's life.
I know, but
Now
I'm
here's the
asking
now here
you.
now
No,
hold
but I'm
now hold on.
asking
Hold
you
on.
what.
Hold on. That, like I said, that case in and of itself proves that it is not okay for a police officer to take someone's life, keyword unjustly, right? The unfortunate reality with a lot of these police interactions, right? And we can look at Rodney King, for example. When you see a lot of these men who are clearly antagonistic, you look at the evidence, the insurmountable evidence that demonstrates that this person was in the wrong. And that's what led to the police having to make the difficult decision in taking this person's life because they were frantic as fuck. Hence
Mhm.
Rodney King, right? It's not to say that that needs to be that outcome, but the reality is that when it comes to police officers, they have to make an executive decision and a split decision when it comes to
Mhm.
these particular situations. So when it comes to police officers, granted, even though they should be held to a higher standard, we also at the same time have to be a little bit more charitable if we understand the facts of the situation. Now keep in mind, Black Lives Matter literally enforced, they pushed for police officers to have body cams on them at all times. And the second that we started seeing more police officers have body cam footage, that's when we started to see more and more that the police officers that were getting accused of being racist and racially profiling a lot of these black men weren't actually in the wrong. The black man was actually in the wrong. But we're not ready for that conversation
Can I
because
respond?
we're automatically gravitating towards the black man's side rather than looking at these things objectively. Okay, this is what
Can
happened. What led up to this situation? When's the last time you asked yourself that question?
Okay, host, can I just say this? So so you're saying those police officers are justified in taking a life because they have to.
In
Okay.
some cases,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay, right. And maybe Carmelo felt like he had to take a life. But I want to ask you
He
personally,
may have felt
what
like that, but I
okay,
guarantee you that
right.
it
But
wasn't
but
justified
those
based on
police
logic.
officers feel like they have to take a life. They don't need to take a life. They feel like it. So I want to know what constitutes taking
Okay,
someone's life.
okay. Let me what constitutes is as to taking somebody's life is if they are a direct threat to other people or themselves, themselves meaning the person that they are attacking,
And
right?
that is
So
probably
if
how
so
Carmelo
so in which
felt.
so and guess what, you can say that, but Kurt, from what I just read to you 5 minutes ago, there was absolutely no self-defense possibility in this. Now let me
So
give you another
Austin
scenario.
and his
Let me give
brother
you
did not.
hold on, Darylyn, and no, again, Hunter was not involved in this whatsoever. But let me give you another scenario. There's a young lady that passed away a few years ago by the name of Micaiah Bryant. She called the police because there were two young ladies outside of her house looking to fight, right? So when she called the police, she told them to come and handle the situation. By the time the police got there, they saw Micaiah Bryant lunging at the two girls with the whole kitchen knife. They told her 3 times to drop the knife. And after the third time, she lunged at one of the girls, prompting him to shoot her. Unfortunately, she died on the spot. So the reality is that, once again, like I already mentioned, sometimes police officers have to make decisions to protect other people, even though, based on the information that we know, if these girls were bullying her, right? That's not what the police saw when they first arrived. They only saw somebody else with a knife moving frantically, lunging at other individuals. So he had to make a split decision. Was she in the wrong for lunging at them? Absolutely. Was she in the wrong for wanting to defend herself outside of her home? No. We're allowed to have nuance.
Absolutely. But again, it just proves my point. Those
That
cops are
doesn't prove anything that you said.
okay.
This is
Can I,
another case where
am
a
I going to be
police
able to
officer was in the
talk?
right.
Can I talk? I'll let you
You've been
go.
speaking for the past 30 minutes.
Okay, well, I just let you go on. So I'm going to say that cops are human beings. So they make a decision that someone is a threat to other people and themselves, and they take a life. And then Carmelo took a life. He didn't go, because like you said, they didn't have any prior history together. He did not go under that tent looking for Austin to take his life. There had to be some kind of interaction. And again, and there had to be some type of, whether it was physical, verbal. We didn't see the
Ma'am,
video.
you're repeating your point
Okay,
with this.
well, just
You're
let me
repeating
finish because I
yourself.
just let you finish.
Ma'am,
Again,
you're just repeating yourself, and
okay,
I've
well,
already debunked
I'll
everything
repeat
that you've said.
myself and I'll leave. At the end of the day, people make decisions. Okay.
I apologize, but no. That's not how this works. Oh, give me a minute, y'all. So it's very unfortunate that we have to rely on speculation. It's very unfortunate. But that's all that she could rely on was speculation. He could have felt threatened for his life. He didn't. It was already proven. Sorry. This is what we call cope. I hope you know this. This is cope. You wanted him to be innocent so goddamn bad. But the reality is that he's guilty and that it's irrefutable. This is called cope. So, ugh, okay. First and foremost, before we move on to the next guest, I've never, ever in my life, in doing TikTok, ever had over 800 people in my life. So if this is your first time seeing me, thank you for listening in. Thank you for listening in. I know that a lot of people come in to listen to these things for entertainment purposes. Hopefully, you guys have been entertained. I'm not doing this necessarily for entertainment. I'm doing this so that I can have intellectual conversations and really call attention to race grifters and race baiters when it comes to this particular case because I hate them. I hate them. That's just how I rock. So I appreciate everybody for joining in and sending the gifts. Not expected, but greatly appreciated. Appreciate everybody that's been sending those daily heart me's. Um, this is crazy. I ain't never had this many people in my life. So I really do appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Appreciate the taps. Keep tapping the screen. Keep sharing the live out to some people that you know. If you disagree, please keep engaging, hopefully in good faith, because that's all I really care about is good faith discussions. Also, if you guys haven't already, shoot me a follow and send those daily heart me's as well. Y'all are dope. I appreciate you. So, what the fuck? Guys, there's 30 people in my request. This shit is crazy. I'm sorry. I've never experienced this shit before. I'm not doing this shit for the attention. I'm doing it for the conversation. And apparently the conversation is getting all the fucking attention. So let's do it. Okay, let's keep going. Crystal,
How are you?
I'm doing good. Do you disagree with this prompt?
I do.
All right. Please explain to me why you believe that justice was not served.
Because if the roles were reversed, they would have been more fair
Why do
to
you
the white
believe that?
boy. I believe he would have got off with a easier sentence.
Why do you believe that?
I'm not really sure. It's just how things have gone in the past.
Man, you can't
They
do
were
that.
both kids, and
You
I
can't do
mean,
that.
I'm going to be honest. If I'm feeling threatened nowadays in times, as crazy as people are, I don't care. If you put your hands on me when I tell you don't put your hands on me, it ain't gonna be good. I ain't just gonna throw fists and hope you don't pull a
Man,
pew pew.
man, you can't rely on past instances when looking at a nuanced case like this. Let's survey the chat. Does anybody in here believe that if the roles were reversed that Austin would have gotten an easier sentence than Carmelo would have? Genuinely. At least 50 people. 60, 64, 70, 75, 78, 80, 84, 90. Pretty much the general consensus of this live disagrees with that sentiment. So what do you have? Never mind, she left. Okay, next person. That was pathetic. I'm not gonna lie. Guys, we're almost at 1,000 viewers, so please keep sharing the live. We might as well just go shoot for that threshold. Let's hit 1,000. Let's hit 1,000 viewers. Go ahead and share that live out. Okay, this person is not here. That person is not here either. Awesome.
What's
Bobby,
going
how you
on,
doing,
man?
sir?
Doing fine, doing fine.
Wonderful. Do you disagree with this
I
prompt?
think that the sentence was exactly what it needed to be. No, I don't. I
You
believe that he got exactly the sentence that he needed to get. I'm surprised it was not more.
so you believe that the verdict was just as well then?
I do
I
because I
appreciate
mean,
that. I
no
agree
matter
with you.
which way you cut it. I'm sorry. I must be
I'll,
lagging or
I'll,
something. I'm
no, no, no,
talking
you
over you.
good,
I'm
you good.
sorry.
I'll give you a minute to share your sentiment, and then we got to move on because I got like mad people in my queue, so
Oh
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
waste their time.
But
So go ahead.
yeah, the only thing I mean, it's like it don't matter. Everybody's always trying to make it about color this and color that. The fact of the matter is, you had one kid make a bad decision, and it cost another kid his life, and now both of them kids are gone. One for 35 years, and one for the rest of forever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just that the facts of the matter is that's how it played out.
Yeah,
And I think
I agree.
he had all the excuse to, if I go somewhere and I'm not welcome, I'm gonna get my butt up and I'm gonna leave because I'm not welcome, no matter what color you are.
That's it.
If I feel like I'm welcome, I'm gonna be like, hey, let's kick it. If not, I'm gonna get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? But
That's literally
that's just
it.
how I feel.
That's literally it. I appreciate you, Bobby. I shot
Oh
you a
yeah.
follow, man.
All right,
Appreciate you.
man. You
All right, next person. Not that. Uh, guys, if you agree with this prompt, please relinquish your request. Please and thank you. Maui, you're not an op. You're not an op. Matter of fact, if I'm eating, you gonna need to. Y'all, shoot this
All right,
dude a
I'll leave.
follow.
I'll leave. I'll leave. I'll leave.
No, no,
I'll
no,
leave.
no, 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 no. Before you leave, shoot him a follow because he's really the one that got the facts on this case. So I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds to shoot Maui a follow. Please, if you see him live, go over to his shit as well. Dude is on that. Dude is on that.
Not just me. Like everyone else. Like there are other people that know way more. Casey, uh, Dark Horse. They're the ones who keep up with the updates. But yeah, I've been debating this case too for over 14 months.
We've been me and him have been debate. That's actually how me and him met. We've been debating this case ad nauseum since the beginning. So definitely shoot Maui a follow. And yeah, my my circle on TikTok is pretty close. There's only about 10 people that I can say definitively that I fuck with, and he's one of them because he's objective like myself.
I will
So
say this
make sure you
before
shoot him a
Dip.
follow.
Yeah, I will say this before Dip. But like, yeah, I know. Once again, we've been covering this shit for 14 months. And the reason why we do that is because I'm not sure about KJ if he has siblings, but I got two brothers that are in high school. Every time I look at Austin, I see him as he was my brother. And I don't want to come to the point where I don't want it to get to that point where mom and dad has to worry about getting a phone call from the school because one of them are not going to make it because some idiot poked them at a track meet over a minor altercation or
We
so on and
agree.
so forth. And
We
I
agree.
and every time I debate, every time I shout, I yell, it's just a voice for Austin, not just for Austin, but for all the students out there, whether they're alive, whether they're deceased. And I always advocate for like school policy, safety, and so on and so forth. And I always want to, like every day when I argue, every time I look at kids, I'm like, thank God that he's alive. Thank God she's alive. Thank God that I'm able to defend every single kid that goes to school. And
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it.
Plain and simple. Appreciate you, Maui.
Yeah, no
We
worries.
gonna keep it rocking. All right. Yeah, let's shoot for that 1,000, man. I just want to see it. I just want to see it. Oh shit. Somebody said Spurs in six. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I got money on that game, so I really need to know. Hold on. Let me look. Let me look. I didn't even know there was. Oh, is that a okay, is that 7:30 Central? Yeah, I'm finna watch the fuck out that game. Man, listen. Listen. I got money on that game. I do not want the Knicks to win, bro. Go Wemby. W Wemby. W Wemby. I said it. I said it, man. Fuck the Knicks. I'm on record. Hey, hey, I got zero ball knowledge. I just live in San Antonio, man. So I fuck with the Spurs by proxy. Just it's just my proximity. But yeah, let's keep it pushing. Mr. Maul,
What's up, dog?
How you doing, man?
I'm calling you.
I'm always good. I'm always good. Blessed. You disagree with this prompts, I'm assuming?
Most definitely, man. I just
Yeah,
want to ask you a question, bro.
of course.
If we get into an altercation and some way, somehow, I end up putting my hands on you, how you react to that? Would that be self defense or would that be murder?
It depends on what I do. So if you put your hands on me, win or lose, I'm gonna fight back, and I'm gonna make sure you respect me after we done
You,
fighting.
you're gonna
But
defend yourself, right?
I'm gonna defend myself, but not with a knife, because I don't have to. You're not that much of a threat for me to feel like that I would need to use deadly force on you.
Two,
Are you giving me
two.
are you giving me a reason to believe that you would be deadly force?
Most definitely.
What reason is that?
We're having an altercation. I have my hands in my pants. You don't know what's in there. You don't know if I have something. You don't know what it is, but my hand is in my pants, and you can clearly see that.
You have your hands in your pants. Is that what happened with Austin?
I'm just saying he what's his name? Anthony, he had his hand in
Or
his back
Carmelo
like
Anthony.
right.
He had his hand in his bag.
Right.
So it sounds like he was really the threat, not Austin.
Negative, bruh. Negative.
How?
There's two people on him. That's way bigger than him. There's 200 plus
That
playing.
was all that was already debunked in the court case. Hunter was not involved in this altercation.
So who was all involved? Enlighten me.
It was just Austin and Carmelo in that moment.
So regardless of the fact, if I'm showing you,
Wait. That's not regardless. That's a very serious point because that's one of the leading narratives on your side of the aisle. I don't mean to be antagonistic when I say your side, but Carmelo supporters or Carmelo sympathizers genuinely believe that Hunter was also involved in this situation. He was not. That was disproven.
whether it's two
Can you
people,
understand that?
I understand what you're saying, bro. But whether it's two people or one, if I'm defending it doesn't matter. Whatever happens after someone lays their hands on me or someone lays their hands on Anthony, it's all green from there because you're defending yourself.
So
No
do
matter
you know the three specific things that you need to prove in order for it to be qualified as self-defense according to law in Texas specifically?
enlighten me.
Justified use of force in the first place. You must reasonably believe deadly force is immediately necessary, and this is the key part. The defendant cannot have provoked the confrontation.
Okay. Well, by that law, for sure, he definitely is in the wrong. But I feel like he defended himself. I think 35
Wait,
years is
which one is it? Because you said that by that law he was in the wrong.
yes, by
So
by
that
the book, yes, he was in the wrong. By the book, for
okay.
sure.
So what? So I listen, because you're being honest, and I love that. You're you're one of the five people. You're the fifth person out of the year and a half that I've had this conversation with people. You're the fifth person
For sure. I'm gonna keep it
that
a
has
buck.
conceded to that.
I'm gonna keep it a buck for sure.
Okay,
But
so you said that this. I really need to hammer this in now because bro to bro, I'm not gonna lead you the wrong way. I'm gonna just tell you straight, and I expect the same thing back, right?
right.
Okay, so you said that by the book he was in the wrong, but you also said that you still believe that it was self-defense based on what?
Based on humanity, you feel me? Bruh, you have to defend yourself at all time, no matter what. He don't know this kid. Just like if you see some random man and you provoke him, you don't know how he's gonna react.
Okay,
You
so
you gotta
you bait.
understand. You gotta
So
understand that, bruh.
based, I do understand that. Now you want to know what would have been self-defense? let's say that hypothetically that Austin was the antagonizer in this whole situation, and he did actually shove Carmelo in a very aggressive way, not lightly, like the witnesses testified, right? Let's say that it actually was aggressive.
Right.
First and foremost, let me ask you this, because you sound like you're from that general area. I can tell you for a fact that I am as well, right? East Side Detroit. I know. So you tell me, suburban white kids, what's the probability of them having the ability to apply deadly force in a situation like this?
I wouldn't know those numbers off the top of my head, but we have seen people in the suburbs use deadly force, not in
The
those
prop, but
situations.
we've seen it before,
Right.
but the probability of that happening is actually relatively low. There's only one instance that I remember off the top of my head where a kid brought a knife to high school, and you know what happened? The police reprimanded him because one of my friends snitched on him. True story. I'll go into detail about that later, right? But this is this is something that we need to understand. The reality is that if Austin was the antagonizer, if I were to grant you that, do we both like off the record, can we both say genuinely that Carmelo didn't have hands on him? Sometimes you can look at somebody and tell he got hands. Don't tell me he don't got hands. I know he got hands.
I mean, you can't just, you feel me? You can't judge a book by its cover, man.
Let's be reasonable. Let's be reasonable. These are both athletes. What's the likelihood of them not having hands? The point that I'm making is that if it was literally that, he could have just swung on him. It would have been a fist fight between two teenagers. This is normal. We've all had fights as teenagers. These, these, he could have just tossed them. Could have just threw some hands with him for 30 seconds, and both of them would have survived. Probably would have got suspended from school, but both of them still would have been alive to tell the tale tomorrow.
I
So
feel
this is the
that.
point that I'm making when it comes to equal reciprocal force as well, which is also something that you need to prove in self-defense, right? Do you believe genuinely that based on the now we're not talking hypothetical anymore. This is the case itself. Do you I almost got him, Chad. I almost got him. Man. Shit. Momo. Hi, Momo. It's the first time you're up here.
Oh, no, no, no.
This is one of my moderators, y'all. Did you want to say something real quick?
No, I don't.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you for holding down the live for me. I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome. Sorry.
No problem, no problem. Alrighty. So let's yeah. Yeah, I was on a podcast a couple days ago, so I kind of had to get cut up real quick because I refused to have my nappy head shown on camera, so I had to clean up a little bit. I'm sexy again to some people, but yeah. Most and most importantly to my girlfriend. I know she think I'm sexy, but that's neither here or there. But next person. Huh. What does it say?
Good evening. How you doing?
Devontae, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay.
All right. Do you disagree with this prompt?
Yes, I do.
All right. Please explain to me why.
Um, so I'm gonna feed off a couple of things that I just recently heard you say with the last guy.
Okay.
The assumptions, because they can only be assumptions, correct?
What are we talking about being assumptions? Can you
You
be
said
specific?
that you're from a certain side of Detroit, right? And
East
you
side,
know
yes.
how people from Detroit would handle that. We can't put that assumption on Mello. Do you agree with that?
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. That's on me.
Okay. Do you believe cause and effect?
I do. Please continue.
Okay. Do you believe cause and effect?
I do.
Do you believe that if certain things happen, none of this would even be a case to begin with?
Say that. Wait, repeat that question again.
Do you believe that if certain things would have happened, this would not even be a court case?
I do believe that.
Okay. Um, the understanding was they're talking to a friend of the girlfriend, correct?
They're talking to a friend of a girlfriend. Who? The
He's
brothers?
there. He's there visiting a friend of the girlfriend, correct?
No, no testimony has confirmed that from what I've read.
We're not going to get on people's testimony because you know how
Yes,
much
we
that
are.
flipped up.
Yes, we
Okay.
are. We have to.
Okay. Okay. So, do you believe that every testimony that was made was the same testimony that everybody's been saying from the beginning? Or has people's
I
stories
have,
changed?
I have no reason to believe that their stories were not consistent. Do you have any evidence to present that their stories were inconsistent?
As we said on my side, one momento.
I'm confused.
No, because you said that you seen that nothing has changed, right? So if we pull the police reports and it says one thing and what somebody says in court is something else, that's not something changing, or is that something changing?
The witness testimony was pretty much hand to hand
I'm
with the police report.
I'm asking if something was written on a police report directly, and if it's not the exact same thing that was said on the stand, is it not changing?
Once again, everything that was said on the stand was in correlation with what was said in the police report.
So you
What's the
said that
point? What is the point that you're
so
trying to
you saying
prove?
that the police report matches the exact testimony is what you're saying?
It's pretty close. I'm not saying that it's
No,
verbatim,
no,
but it's pretty
sir. I don't
close.
need a pretty close. I need exact.
No, 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 because that's not how that works.
Yeah, that is how that works
You don't,
because
no,
your
not by the
testimony
law, not by
should
the law.
should.
The police report is meant to summarize the situation based on the information that he was given, right? He had surveyed at least 30 different people in that police report, and they've all pretty much corroborated the exact same thing. When the half of those, at least a third of those witnesses in the police report were also on the stand, from what we know, they were witnesses on the stand. So when we're looking at the police report and reading the transcripts of each testimony that the witness gave on the prosecutor's side, it was almost identical to what they said in the police report.
You're keeping on using the word almost. See, so
Because
this is the
not
thing.
because not nothing is
Okay,
going to be
okay.
direct. Nothing is going to be directly the same. What is the point that you're trying to prove? Are you trying?
It was
Are you making the argument that because it wasn't directly the same thing, that automatically means that that it increases probability, or there's a high probability for someone to be lying?
well, I can't make the argument because I got muted. So I mean, I don't know what you want me to do.
I asked you a direct question. Now please answer.
So like, do you not agree that whatever is
No,
said?
no, 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 no. Don't answer my
Oh
question with the
God.
question.
Okay.
Answer the question
Okay.
that I
Okay. Okay.
asked you.
Because you don't want to answer my questions, right?
I just answered your question. Now answer mine. All right. Um, chat. I need to make a run really quick. Uh, is it okay if I end this and come back in 30 minutes to an hour? Is that okay? Okay. All right, cool, 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 cool. I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds to shoot me a follow if you haven't already. I'm gonna do this again because I was gonna do this once today and delete the prompt, but I see this is a hot button topic. So I'm gonna probably do this tomorrow afternoon as well. So just stay tuned. But I do appreciate everybody for listening in. Ops, be sure to follow me as well if you still want to have the interaction with me. Um, as you can obviously tell, I'm very open. I'm gonna hear you out, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna agree with you. All right. So appreciate everybody. Rest in peace, Austin Metcalf, and condolences to the Metcalf family. And please, if you haven't already, give your soul to Jesus Christ. Peace out.